Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia. Thanks for joining us today. We're really excited about today's topic because it's something that can help you grow, not only in your English, but also in your personal life.
Yes, today we're talking about a powerful idea. Focus only on yourself and stay silent. Now, that might sound a little serious at first, but trust me, it's something that can really change your life in a positive way.
Exactly. This topic is about learning to stop wasting energy on things or people that don't help you. Instead, we'll talk about how you can protect your peace, focus on your goals, and grow faster by staying silent in the right moments.
And as always, we'll explain everything in simple, clear English. So even if you're a beginner, don't worry. You're going to understand and learn a lot today.
Plus, this topic is not just about personal growth. It also helps you become a better English learner. When you focus on yourself and stay away from noise and comparison, you learn faster and feel more confident.
Absolutely. And here's a quick quote to start us off. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers.
That's beautiful. Sometimes staying silent is the best way to protect your mind, your time, and your energy.
So in today's episode, we'll break down what it means to focus only on yourself, why silence is powerful, how to deal with negative people, and how all of this helps you on your English learning journey.
Are you ready to dive in? Let's get started.
So Julia, let's begin with a big question. What does it really mean to focus only on yourself?
Great question, Jason. When we say focus on yourself, we don't mean to ignore other people or be selfish. It means to stop worrying about what others are doing and start putting your time and energy into improving your own life.
Yes, exactly. For example, instead of thinking, why is that person better than me? You can ask yourself, how can I get better today? That's focusing on yourself.
Right, and it also means not letting other people's opinions control your mood or your actions. If someone doesn't like what you're doing, but you know it's good for you, that's okay. Stay on your path.
I love that. It's like walking on your own road and not looking at everyone else's road. Because when you keep looking at others, you get distracted. And when you're distracted, you stop moving forward.
That's true in English learning too. Some people might learn faster, some might speak more fluently. But guess what? That doesn't matter. What matters is that you are improving at your own speed.
Yes. And when you focus only on yourself, you don't compare. You don't complain. You just grow, day by day.
Also, focusing on yourself means taking care of your mind and body. It means making time for rest, setting your own goals, and doing things that make you better, not bitter.
Can you give a simple example of that, Julia?
Sure. Let's say you see someone on social media speaking perfect English. Instead of feeling sad or thinking, I'll never be like that, you say to yourself, that's nice. Now let me go practice for 15 minutes today. That's real focus.
Yes. It's not about jealousy or comparing. It's about using your time wisely. Because every minute you spend thinking about others is a minute you could spend improving yourself.
Exactly. Focusing on yourself is a strong and positive thing. It's not selfish, it's smart, and it's peaceful.
So remember, friends, don't worry about other people's speed or success. Stay in your lane and keep moving forward. Your journey is your own.
And we're here to help you along the way. Keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep focusing on you.
Beautifully said. Now, let's move on and talk about something that goes hand in hand with this: the power of silence. Okay, Julia. Now let's talk about something that many people don't understand: the power of silence. Why do you think silence is so strong?
Great question, Jason. Many people think silence means weakness, but actually, silence is a sign of strength. When you stay silent, you're not ignoring the world. You're choosing peace over noise.
Yes, and in many situations, silence is more powerful than words. For example, when someone says something rude or negative, the best answer is often no answer at all.
Exactly. You don't need to react to everything. Silence shows control. It shows confidence. It means you are not letting others control your emotions.
Right. And sometimes silence helps you learn. When you are quiet, you can listen. You can watch. You can understand better.
That's true, Jason. For English learners, silence is also important. It gives you time to think before you speak. It helps you listen more carefully to how others use English.
Good point. I remember when I was learning another language, I used to just sit and listen. At first, I was quiet, but later, I spoke with more confidence. Silence helped me grow.
Yes, silence is like a seed. You plant it, you water it with patience, and later it grows into something strong, like clear thoughts, better words, and smarter actions.
Wow, I love that example. Also, when you stay silent, people start to respect you more. Why? Because they know you don't speak just to speak. You speak with meaning.
That's right. Some people talk too much without thinking. But when you stay silent, people notice you more. Your words become powerful when you use them less.
So friends, don't be afraid of silence. Use it as your superpower. When you feel angry, stay silent. When you feel hurt, stay silent. Let your silence speak louder than your words.
And while you stay silent, focus on yourself. Grow in silence. Learn in silence. Improve in silence.
Exactly. Because sometimes silence is not empty. It's full of strength, growth, and wisdom.
Beautifully said, Jason. Okay, now that we've talked about focusing on yourself and the power of silence, let's go a little deeper.
Yes. Coming up next, why you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. All right, Julia. So far, we've talked about why silence is powerful, but let's make it more practical. Let's give our listeners real-life examples of when it's better to stay silent.
Great idea. Let's start with this one. When someone is trying to argue with you, if someone is angry and wants to fight with words, staying silent is often the best choice. Arguing back only adds more fire.
That's so true. Silence can stop the fight before it even begins. Here's another one. When someone criticizes you without reason. Sometimes people just want to bring you down. But if you know the truth, you don't have to explain or defend yourself. Just stay silent and keep going.
Yes, silence in that moment shows maturity. Here's a good one too. When you're feeling very emotional. If you're really sad, angry, or upset, it's better to stay silent until your mind is calm. Because when we speak in emotion, we often say things we later regret.
Absolutely. Speaking when you're angry can break relationships. But silence gives you time to think clearly. Another good time to stay silent is when you're around negative people. People who gossip or complain too much.
Oh, yes. Gossip and complaining don't help anyone. If someone starts talking badly about others, it's better to stay quiet or just walk away. Don't join the negativity.
Here's one more. When you don't know what to say. And that's okay. Sometimes we feel pressure to speak, even if we don't have the right words. But silence is better than saying something wrong or meaningless.
Exactly. Silence gives you power. It gives you space. It helps you choose the right words at the right time. And in all these situations, silence is not weakness. It's wisdom.
So remember, friends, you don't always have to respond. You don't always have to explain. You don't always have to react. Sometimes your silence says everything.
That's a beautiful truth. Now let's talk about something we all struggle with: how to deal with people who don't support you.
Now, Julia, let's talk about something very positive: the benefits of focusing on yourself. When you stop worrying about others and start working on yourself, amazing things can happen.
Absolutely. The first benefit is peace of mind. When you focus on yourself, you stop comparing your life to others. And that brings peace. You feel calmer because you're not thinking, I should be like them.
Yes, that's so important. Another benefit is personal growth. When you put your energy into your own goals, your skills improve faster. You become stronger, mentally, physically, and emotionally.
And focusing on yourself also gives you confidence. When you know your value, you don't need approval from others. You believe in your own path, even if others don't understand it.
That's a powerful feeling, Julia. And here's another one: better decisions. When you're focused on yourself, you listen to your own needs. You stop making choices to please other people, and you do what's right for you.
Exactly. And you also build stronger habits. Maybe you start waking up earlier, reading more, eating better, or practicing English every day. These small actions make a big difference over time.
Yes, it's like planting seeds in your own garden instead of staring at someone else's flowers. When you focus on your garden, it grows beautifully.
What a great example, Jason. And one more benefit: you feel more happiness, because you're not living for others. You're living for yourself with purpose and passion.
So friends, if you truly want to grow and feel happy, don't waste your time watching other people's lives. Focus on your own journey, build your own future, and celebrate your own progress.
That's right, because the best project you'll ever work on is you.
Beautifully said. And now that we know the benefits, let's talk about how to stay strong when others don't support you. All right, Julia. Now let's talk about something that many people do without even thinking: comparing themselves with others. And honestly, it can be very harmful.
Yes, Jason, it's one of the biggest reasons why people feel unhappy. When we compare ourselves with others, we focus on what we don't have instead of being thankful for what we do have.
That's true. We see someone who speaks better English, or who has more money, or who looks more successful, and we start thinking, I'm not good enough.
Exactly. But here's the truth: everyone is on a different journey. You don't know their full story. Maybe they struggled for years to get where they are. Maybe they have problems you can't see.
Yes, and when you compare, you lose your focus. Instead of working on your goals, you waste time feeling bad about yourself.
Right. And it also takes away your joy. You forget to celebrate your small wins. You forget how far you've already come.
That's a big problem, because growth takes time. And if you keep looking at others, you'll miss your own progress.
So true. It's like running a race while always looking at someone else's lane. You will trip. You will fall, because you're not watching where you are going.
Great example. The only person you should compare yourself with is the person you were yesterday.
Yes, if you're doing better than yesterday, even just a little bit, then you're winning. That's real success.
So friends, remember this: don't compare, don't copy, just grow. Your journey is special, and you are enough just as you are.
Beautifully said, Jason. And now let's talk about something even more powerful: how focusing on yourself helps you become emotionally strong.
So Julia, we've talked about why focusing on yourself is important. But let's make it practical. How can someone practice self-focus in their daily life?
Great question, Jason. Let's start with this simple habit: start your day with yourself. Before checking your phone or social media, take 5 or 10 minutes just for you. You can stretch, breathe, write in a journal, or say something positive to yourself.
Yes, I love that. A calm morning creates a focused day. Another way is to set daily goals. They don't have to be big. Just write 2 or 3 small things you want to do. For example, practice English for 15 minutes, or go for a short walk.
Exactly. Small goals keep your attention on your own life, not other people's. Also, try to take breaks from social media. Too much scrolling makes us compare and feel bad. But when you take time away from it, your mind becomes more clear.
That's a good tip. And here's another idea. Spend time doing what you enjoy. Maybe you love reading, cooking, painting, or learning something new. When you do what makes you happy, you feel more connected to yourself.
Yes, that's self-love. Also, it helps to say no to things that don't serve your growth. If something wastes your energy or time, it's okay to walk away.
Well said. Focus is about protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. And even just taking a few minutes to breathe deeply and reflect on your day can make a big difference.
So friends, don't wait for a perfect moment to focus on yourself. Do it in small ways every day. That's how you build a strong, peaceful life, one step at a time.
And now that we've talked about daily habits, let's go deeper into the mind. Coming up next, we'll discuss mind your own business, why it's okay not to know everything about others. Julia, sometimes it's easy to stay silent, but during conflict or when someone is negative, it's much harder. How can people stay calm and silent in those moments?
That's a great question, Jason. First, we must understand this silence is not weakness. Sometimes silence shows strength and control. It gives you time to think before you react.
Exactly. When someone is angry or rude, you don't have to respond right away. Take a deep breath and stay calm. You don't have to join their anger.
Right. Think of silence like a shield. It protects your peace. It stops things from getting worse. If you speak in anger, you might say something you'll regret.
Yes, and in many situations, silence shows maturity. People may expect you to argue or fight back, but when you stay quiet, you show self-respect and wisdom.
Another helpful tip, listen carefully instead of speaking quickly. Sometimes when you truly listen, you understand the other person better. And maybe the conflict doesn't need a loud answer. It needs quiet understanding.
That's true. And if the person keeps being negative, just walk away. Your silence speaks louder than shouting ever could.
Yes, silence helps you stay in control. It helps you respond later with kindness or with a smart decision, not with emotion.
So friends, when conflict comes, ask yourself, will speaking help? Or will silence protect my peace? Most of the time, silence is the stronger choice.
Very true. And next, we'll talk about something powerful, why you don't need to explain your life or choices to anyone.
All right, Julia, now let's bring today's topic into English learning. How can silence and focus help someone learn English better?
Great question, Jason. Many people don't realize this, but silence can be a powerful learning tool. When you turn off the noise around you, TV, phone, distractions, you can really concentrate.
Yes, and focus is key. If you give just 15 or 20 minutes of quiet, focused study every day, you'll see real progress. No multitasking, just you and the language.
Exactly. For example, when listening to an English podcast, try to sit quietly and listen with full attention. Don't just play it in the background. Let your brain hear every word.
And if you're reading or practicing speaking, give your full focus. That's when learning becomes stronger. You understand more and remember better.
Also, take time to reflect in silence after learning. Think about what you learned today. Maybe write 1 or 2 new words in a notebook. That small, silent habit helps your brain grow.
So, friends, remember you don't always need noise to learn. Sometimes the best learning happens in silence, with full focus and a clear mind.
Beautifully said, Jason. Now let's wrap up today's talk with some final thoughts and a message to our listeners.
So, friends, remember this: you don't have to please everyone. You don't have to explain everything. You just need to grow, quietly and truly.
Yes, focus on yourself, stay silent when needed, and trust that your journey is special, even if no one sees it right now.
Step by step, day by day, you are getting better. Just keep going.
We believe in you. Stay strong, stay focused, and never stop learning.
Thanks for listening to the English Learning Podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care and keep shining.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host, Julia. Hi, Julia.
Hi, Jason. Hello, listeners. We're so excited to have you here. Today's episode is From Silent to Fluent, a must-listen for anyone who struggles to speak English confidently.
Yes, we know that many learners understand English well, but struggle to speak. Maybe you're afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you don't have people to practice with. Or maybe you're just not sure where to start.
That's completely normal. Many learners stay silent for months or even years because they feel nervous or insecure. But today, we're going to help you break that silence and take real steps toward fluency.
Exactly. In the next 26 minutes, we'll talk about why learners hesitate to speak, how to change your mindset, practical ways to start speaking, and how to stay motivated.
By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools and confidence to start speaking English, no matter where you are in your learning journey.
So, get ready, grab a notebook if you need to, and let's dive into the journey from silent to fluent. All right, let's start with the big question. Why do so many English learners stay silent instead of speaking? Julia, what do you think is one of the biggest reasons?
Great question, Jason. One of the main reasons is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry that they'll use the wrong words, mispronounce something, or make a grammar mistake, and they think people will laugh at them or judge them.
Yes, that fear is real. But the truth is, making mistakes is part of learning. Think about how children learn to speak their first language. They make mistakes all the time. But nobody laughs at them because mistakes help them improve.
Exactly. But here's the problem. Many English learners try to be perfect before they even start speaking. They want to get the grammar 100% correct before saying a sentence, but waiting for perfection actually slows you down.
That's so true. And I think another big reason learners stay silent is lack of confidence. They compare themselves to native speakers or advanced learners and think, I'll never sound like that.
Yes, but confidence comes from practice. You don't have to speak perfectly to communicate well. If you can express your ideas, even in simple sentences, you're already speaking English.
That's an important mindset shift. But let's talk about another reason learners stay silent overthinking. Some people try to translate every word from their native language into English before speaking.
Yes, and that makes speaking really slow and stressful. If you're always thinking, is this the right word? Is my grammar correct? You'll hesitate, and eventually you won't say anything at all.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to think in English instead of translating. We'll talk more about how to do that later in this episode.
That's right. But before we move on, let's quickly mention one more reason not having enough speaking practice. Some learners simply don't have people to talk to, so they never get a chance to practice.
That's a big challenge, but the good news is you don't need a speaking partner to start speaking. There are many ways to practice by yourself, and we'll share those tips in just a moment.
So, to summarize, learners stay silent because of 1. Fear of mistakes, 2. Lack of confidence, 3. Overthinking and translating, 4. Not enough speaking practice.
But don't worry. If you struggle with these problems, you are not alone, and you can overcome them. Next, we're going to talk about how to change your mindset so you can start speaking with confidence. Now that we know why many learners stay silent, let's talk about something really important: the mindset shift that will help you start speaking. Julia, what do you think is the biggest change learners need to make?
The biggest shift is understanding this simple truth. You don't need to be perfect to start speaking. Speaking is part of learning.
That's such a powerful idea. Many learners think they need to study English for years before they can start speaking. But the truth is, you learn to speak by speaking.
Exactly. Think about how babies learn their first language. They don't study grammar books or memorize vocabulary lists. They just listen and speak, making lots of mistakes along the way. And that's how they become fluent.
That's such a great example. So, instead of waiting until you feel ready to speak, you should start speaking now, even if it's just a little bit.
Yes, and here's another mindset shift. Mistakes are not failures. They are signs of progress. Every time you make a mistake, you are learning something new.
That's so true. Imagine you're learning to play the guitar. If you make a mistake while practicing, does that mean you should stop playing forever? Of course not. You just keep practicing, and over time, you get better.
Exactly. And the same thing applies to English. The more you speak, the faster you will improve.
So, here's a challenge for our listeners. Stop worrying about mistakes and start speaking today. Even if you just say one sentence out loud, that's progress.
I love that. And coming up next, we'll give you some practical steps to help you start speaking, even if you feel shy or nervous.
All right, now that we understand that speaking is part of learning, let's get into some practical steps that will help you start speaking, even if you feel shy or don't have a speaking partner.
Yes, these are simple, effective, and you can start using them today. So, Jason, what's the first step?
The first step is thinking in English instead of translating. Many learners try to translate every sentence from their native language, and that slows them down. Instead, try to describe things around you in English in your mind.
That's a great tip. For example, if you see a red car, just think that's a red car. Or if you're eating, think I'm having lunch. This soup is delicious.
Exactly. It's a small habit, but it trains your brain to process English faster. So when you speak, the words come more naturally.
That's a great way to start. Another step is speaking to yourself out loud. You don't need a partner to practice speaking. Just talk to yourself about your day, your plans, or even what you see around you.
Yes, you can describe what you're doing, like, now I am making coffee. It smells really good. Or before bed, you can say, today was a great day. I studied English and learned new words.
And if you feel a little silly talking to yourself, don't worry. It's actually a powerful way to build confidence and fluency.
That's right. And here's another tip: use shadowing. Have you heard of this technique, Julia?
Of course, shadowing is when you listen to an English speaker and repeat what they say immediately, copying their pronunciation and rhythm.
Exactly. You can do this with podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos. Just pick a sentence, pause, and repeat it. It helps with pronunciation, speaking speed, and confidence.
That's such an effective technique. And here's another step. Ask yourself questions and answer them in English. It's like having a conversation with yourself.
Great idea. For example, you can ask, "What did I do today?" and answer, "I went to work, had lunch with a friend, and watched a movie."
Yes, or what are my plans for tomorrow? And answer, tomorrow, I will study English for 30 minutes and go for a walk.
This is such a simple way to train your brain to think and respond in English, just like in a real conversation.
And here's one more step: use voice recording. Record yourself speaking in English and listen to it.
That's a fantastic idea. When you listen to your own voice, you can hear your pronunciation and track your progress over time.
So let's summarize these practical steps. 1. Think in English instead of translating. 2. Speak to yourself out loud about your day. 3. Use shadowing to copy native speakers. 4. Ask and answer questions to practice real conversations. 5. Record yourself speaking and track your improvement.
These steps are easy to do, and if you practice them consistently, you'll see real progress in your speaking skills.
Coming up next, we'll talk about how to find speaking opportunities, even if you don't have a language partner.
So far, we've talked about why learners stay silent, the mindset shift they need, and some practical steps to start speaking. But here's a common challenge. What if you don't have anyone to practice with?
That's a great question. Many learners don't have native English speakers around them, but the good news is there are plenty of ways to find speaking opportunities.
Absolutely. Let's start with the first one: language exchange apps. Have you ever used apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or Speaky?
Yes, these apps connect you with real people who want to practice languages. You can chat with native English speakers who are learning your language, so it's a win-win.
That's a fantastic way to practice. And another option is joining online communities. There are Facebook groups, Discord servers, and WhatsApp groups where people practice English together.
Yes, and some groups even organize Zoom calls or live chats where you can practice speaking with other learners.
That's right. But what if someone doesn't feel confident enough to join a live conversation?
Great question. A simple way to start is by leaving voice messages instead of texting. For example, in a language learning group, instead of typing, "Hello, how are you?" try sending a short voice message.
That's a fantastic way to get comfortable. And here's another idea. Find a speaking buddy. If you have a friend or classmate learning English, set up regular calls to practice speaking together.
Yes, even 10 minutes a day of speaking practice can make a huge difference.
And don't forget about local opportunities. If you live in a city with English-speaking tourists or expats, try talking to them in English. Even small conversations, like ordering food or asking for directions, can build confidence.
That's a great idea. And for those who don't have access to native speakers, joining an English club at school or in your community can also be helpful.
Absolutely. Now let's quickly summarize some great ways to find speaking opportunities. 1. Use language exchange apps like Tandem and HelloTalk. 2. Join online English communities on Facebook, WhatsApp, or Discord. 3. Send voice messages instead of texting. 4. Find a speaking buddy and set up regular practice calls. 5. Talk to English-speaking tourists or expats if possible. 6. Join an English club for conversation practice.
If you use just one or two of these methods, you'll start speaking more often and your confidence will grow.
That's right. And next, we'll discuss how to track your speaking progress and stay motivated. Now, let's talk about something really important: overcoming challenges and staying motivated when learning to speak English.
Yes, many learners start practicing but lose confidence when they make mistakes or don't see fast progress.
That's completely normal. But here's the truth. Making mistakes is part of learning. Every fluent speaker was once a beginner who made mistakes.
Absolutely. Instead of feeling embarrassed, see mistakes as a sign of progress. If you're making mistakes, it means you're trying and improving.
That's a great mindset. Another challenge is feeling stuck when you practice a lot, but don't feel like you're improving.
That's frustrating, but it doesn't mean you're not learning. Sometimes progress is happening in the background, you just don't notice it right away.
Yes, a great way to stay motivated is to track your progress. Record yourself speaking today and then compare it after 1 month. You'll be surprised how much you improve.
That's a fantastic tip. And another way to stay motivated is to celebrate small wins. Maybe today you spoke for 3 minutes without stopping. That's progress.
Exactly. Instead of thinking, I'm not fluent yet, say, I spoke more today than last week.
And don't forget, learning English should be fun. Watch movies, listen to music, and talk about topics you love. When you enjoy the process, you'll stay motivated.
That's so true. So let's quickly recap 1. Mistakes are part of learning. Don't be afraid of them. 2. If you feel stuck, trust that progress is happening. 3. Record yourself to see improvement over time. 4. Celebrate small wins to stay motivated. 5. Make learning fun. Enjoy the journey.
Exactly. And next, we'll wrap things up with some final words of encouragement and a challenge for our listeners.
All right, we've covered a lot today. Before we go, let's leave our listeners with some final tips.
Yes, my top tip is just start speaking. Don't wait until you feel ready because fluency comes from practice, not perfection.
That's a great one. And my tip is speak every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Consistency is the key to fluency.
Absolutely. Now, here's a challenge for our listeners today. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute about any topic in English. It can be about your day, your hobbies, or even what you learned from this podcast.
That's a great challenge. And if you found this episode helpful, subscribe to our podcast, share it with a friend, and leave a comment about your biggest takeaway.
Remember, you have the ability to go from silent to fluent. Keep speaking, keep learning, and most importantly, enjoy the journey.
That's right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Hello, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia, your co-host. We're super excited about today's episode because it's something every English learner faces the struggle of thinking in English, but not being able to speak it fluently.
Yes, we've all been there. You know what you want to say, but the words just don't come out easily. It's like your brain is full of English thoughts, but your mouth is stuck.
Exactly. So today, we're going to talk about how you can move from thinking mode to speaking mode. In other words, how to take the English that's already in your head and actually say it out loud with confidence.
In this episode, we'll share real tips, personal stories, and simple strategies to help you speak English more naturally and without fear. Whether you're just starting or trying to improve your fluency, this conversation is for you.
And don't worry, we're keeping everything beginner-friendly. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, relax, and let's explore how to turn your English thoughts into real conversation.
Ready, Julia?
Ready, Jason?
All right. Let's start with something that every English learner goes through, and that's the thinking trap. You know, when you understand English, you can read it, maybe even write it, but when it's time to speak, your mind just goes blank.
Oh yes, it's so common. Many learners tell me, I know what I want to say, but I can't say it fast enough. Or they say, I keep translating from my native language in my head, and then I get confused.
Exactly. That's the trap. Your brain is doing too much translating, searching for the right words, checking grammar, and by the time you're ready to speak, the moment has passed.
I remember one of my students who could write beautiful English essays, but in class, when I asked her a simple question like, "How was your weekend?" she would freeze. She had the answer in her mind, but she couldn't switch into speaking mode quickly.
I've seen that too. And here's the truth. It's not because you're bad at English. It's because your brain is still operating in thinking mode. That means you're planning and processing, but not yet comfortable expressing those thoughts out loud.
And that's totally okay. It's part of the learning journey. But if you don't work on moving from thinking to speaking, you'll stay stuck. You'll keep waiting until you're perfect. And guess what? That moment never comes.
So today, we want to help you break out of that cycle. We'll show you how to practice speaking in a way that feels natural, even if you make mistakes. Because fluency isn't about being perfect, it's about being active with your English.
Yes, speaking is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier the more you use it. Even small steps like speaking one sentence out loud every day can help you move from thinking mode to speaking mode.
And now that we understand the problem, let's talk about why thinking in English matters so much and how it can lead to fluency. So now that we understand the challenge, let's talk about something really important: why thinking in English actually matters.
Yes, this is a big one. Many learners don't realize that their native language is slowing them down not because it's bad, but because it creates a barrier. When you think in your own language and then try to translate into English, it takes time, and it creates hesitation.
Exactly. It's like having two steps instead of one. First, you think in your language. Then, you try to change it into English. But if you start thinking directly in English, your words can come out more smoothly and naturally.
Let's try a quick example. Jason, I'll say a sentence in English, and you imagine translating it from your native language. Ready? I went to the store to buy some fruit.
All right. So first, I think of that sentence in my own language. Then I try to translate it word by word. It's slow. And sometimes, the grammar is different or I get stuck on one word, like fruit.
Exactly. Now imagine if you already had that sentence ready in English because you thought of it that way. Much faster, right?
So much faster. And that's the goal. When you think in English, you reduce the delay between your thoughts and your words. You become more fluent, not just in grammar, but in real communication.
Also, thinking in English helps you train your brain. You start to see the world in English, what you're doing, what you want to say, how you feel. This makes speaking much more natural over time.
Right. It's like building a mental environment where English becomes part of your daily life. And here's the cool part. You don't have to be perfect. You can start small. Even if you think simple thoughts like, "I am drinking water," or "the sky is blue," that's already progress.
And the more you do it, the easier it becomes to speak without fear. Your brain and mouth start working together. That's when you move from thinking mode into speaking mode.
Exactly. So if you're listening right now and you've been translating everything in your head, don't worry. You're not alone. But from today, try thinking in English, even with short, simple ideas.
Yes, and coming up next, we're going to show you how to switch from thinking mode to speaking mode step by step.
All right, now let's get into the heart of the topic. How do you actually switch from thinking mode to speaking mode? What does that process look like?
Good question. Thinking mode is when you're silently planning everything in your head, choosing the right words, checking grammar, worrying about mistakes. But speaking mode is more like flowing with the conversation, not overthinking each word.
Yes. In thinking mode, you're in preparation mode. You're preparing to speak. but you're not actually speaking. And guess what? The only way to move into speaking mode is to start speaking, even if you're not 100% ready.
Exactly. It's like jumping into a pool. You can think about swimming all day, but you won't really learn until you get in the water.
That's a great analogy. So, here's a good first step. Start with short sentences out loud. Let's say you're making breakfast. Just say, I am cooking eggs, or I need a spoon. These simple sentences help your brain practice speaking without pressure.
Yes, and it's important to say them out loud, not just in your head. When you speak out loud, your brain connects your thoughts to your mouth. That's how fluency starts to grow.
And don't worry about grammar being perfect. Focus on expression, not perfection. For example, if you say, I go store yesterday, that's okay. What matters is that you're using your voice and trying to express yourself.
Absolutely. Mistakes are part of the process. The more you speak, the more your brain will self-correct over time. That's the power of practice.
Another tip is to speak without waiting for someone to talk to you. Many learners think they can only practice with a partner, but actually, you can create your own speaking environment.
Yes, you can describe what you're doing, talk to yourself in the mirror, or even make up a pretend conversation. Like, imagine you're at a coffee shop. Hi, can I have a cappuccino, please? Sure. Small or large? Large, please. Thank you.
I love that. You're training your brain to respond, not just to think, and with repetition, it gets easier. Suddenly, your mouth knows what to say without needing to plan everything.
And one more thing, don't rush. Speaking mode doesn't mean speaking fast. It means speaking freely. Even if you speak slowly, that's fine. The goal is flow, not speed.
Right? It's all about building confidence. When you shift from thinking to speaking, you're building a bridge between what you know and how you use it.
Coming up next, we'll share some easy strategies you can use every day to practice your speaking even if you don't have a partner.
Stay with us! Now that we know why thinking in English matters and how to start switching into speaking mode, let's talk about something really useful, simple strategies you can use every day to practice speaking mode, even if you're alone.
Yes. And the good news is, these strategies don't require a classroom or even a partner. You can do them anywhere at home, on a walk, while doing chores. Let's jump into the first one.
All right. Strategy number 1. Talk to yourself. It may sound strange, but it's super effective. Just describe what you're doing out loud in English. For example, I am brushing my teeth. Now I'm getting ready for work. I need to buy milk later. It builds fluency without any pressure.
I love that one. And here's strategy number 2, shadowing. This means you listen to a native speaker, maybe from a YouTube video, podcast, or movie, and you repeat what they say immediately, trying to match their tone and speed.
Right. It trains your mouth to move like a native speaker's. At first, it might feel fast or difficult, but with practice, it really improves your pronunciation and rhythm.
Okay, next strategy 3, record yourself speaking. This is powerful. You pick a topic, speak for 1 or 2 minutes, and record it on your phone. Then you listen back. It helps you hear your strengths and find areas to improve.
And don't be too critical of yourself. Just listen like a friend. You'll be surprised how much progress you can track over time.
Exactly. Now, strategy 4, use voice apps or AI tools. There are apps that let you practice speaking with voice recognition, or even AI chatbots that respond to you in English. They're available 24/7 and are great for practicing conversations.
Some apps even correct your pronunciation or suggest better words. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
All right, last one, strategy 5. Daily speaking challenges. Set a small speaking goal for yourself every day. For example, speak about your day for 1 minute. Pretend you're ordering food at a restaurant. Explain how to cook your favorite dish. Just one topic, one short moment, every single day.
That's the key. Consistency beats perfection. Even if you only speak for 2 minutes a day, you're building the habit of speaking. And over time, that habit becomes fluency.
So remember, you don't need to wait for a perfect moment or a perfect partner. These small strategies can make a big difference if you use them regularly.
Coming up next, we'll talk about some of the mental blocks that stop people from speaking and how you can overcome those fears. Now let's talk about something a little more fun: practice conversations and role-play ideas. These are creative ways to improve your speaking when you don't have a partner.
Yes, role-play is one of the best tools for language learners. It lets you imagine real-life situations and practice the vocabulary and expressions you'd actually use.
Exactly. And the best part? You don't need anyone else. You can do it alone. Just imagine you're in a situation like at a restaurant, in a taxi, or on a phone call and speak both sides of the conversation.
Let's give a quick example. Hi, can I see the menu, please? Of course. Here it is. Thank you. I'll have the chicken sandwich and a coffee. Sure. Would you like sugar with that? Yes, please.
That's perfect. You can even write these little scenes down first, then practice saying them out loud. Or better yet, make up your own.
Here are a few fun role-play ideas to try. Ordering food at a cafe, asking for directions in a new city, booking a hotel room, introducing yourself at a party, going to a job interview.
And if you want to go further, record yourself doing the role play. Then listen, repeat, and improve it. It's fun, and it builds real speaking confidence.
The goal is to make your practice feel like real life. When your brain gets used to speaking in different situations, you'll feel much more ready when those situations happen for real.
Coming up next, let's talk about how to keep making progress daily and stay consistent in your speaking journey. Now, before we wrap up, we need to talk about something very important: your mindset. If you want to go from thinking to speaking, you have to let go of the fear of making mistakes.
Yes, many learners stay silent because they're afraid of being wrong. But guess what? Mistakes are proof that you're trying. No one becomes fluent without making errors.
Exactly. Think about how kids learn to speak. They make tons of mistakes, and no one laughs at them. They learn because they keep trying. That's how your brain learns too.
Right. If you wait for the perfect moment or the perfect sentence, you'll never speak. Fluency comes from practice, not perfection.
So, here's a mindset shift. Mistakes are not failures. They're steps forward. Every mistake you make teaches your brain something new.
Say it with us: I don't need to be perfect, I just need to keep speaking. That's the mindset that leads to real progress.
Up next, we'll wrap up with a few final thoughts and some encouragement to keep going on your speaking journey. Before we finish, let's quickly share some useful tools and resources that can really help you practice speaking more often and more confidently.
Great idea. First up, language learning apps. Apps like Elsa Speak, Speak English Now, or Hello Talk are designed to help you speak out loud and improve your pronunciation.
Yes. And Google Translate is great for quick practice. You can speak into it and see how your pronunciation is understood. It's a fast way to test yourself when you're not sure about a sentence.
Another great one: YouTube channels and English podcasts. Try shadowing native speakers or repeating short dialogues from your favorite videos. You can even slow the speed down while you practice.
Don't forget AI chatbots like ChatGPT, yes, like me. You can have a full conversation, ask for corrections, and practice any topic you want, anytime, anywhere.
And finally, journaling apps or voice memos. Use your phone to record a daily voice journal. Even 1 minute of speaking per day builds confidence.
The key is not the tool, it's your daily effort. Use what works for you and make speaking a part of your routine.
Coming up next, a final message to keep you motivated on your English journey.
All right, friends, before we go, let's leave you with a few final tips and some encouragement. Because we know learning to speak fluently can feel tough, but you're not alone.
That's right. Tip number 1. Don't rush. Fluency is not a race. It's a journey. Focus on small, consistent progress every day. Even just 5 minutes of speaking daily can change everything over time.
Tip number 2. Make English part of your life. Speak while you cook, walk, clean anytime. The more natural it becomes, the easier it gets.
Tip number 3. Be kind to yourself. You're learning something amazing, you're growing, every word you speak is a win.
So whether you're practicing alone, listening to this podcast, or talking to a mirror, keep going. You have the courage, and you have the tools.
Believe in yourself. You're not just learning English, you're building a new skill that will open up your world.
Thank you for spending time with us today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to share it with a friend and subscribe to the English Learning Podcast for more helpful conversations.
And remember, don't just think in English, speak it, you've got this.
See you next time. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. We hope you found these tips helpful and feel ready to switch from thinking to speaking mode.
Yes, remember, speaking English is a journey, not a destination. Stay consistent, keep practicing, and don't let mistakes hold you back. You're improving every day.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an update. And if you found this episode helpful, please leave us a review. It helps us reach more learners like you.
Also, be sure to share this episode with your friends or family who are also working on their English. The more people we can help, the better.
And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for more in-depth discussions and practical exercises. Plus, you'll find some great content to help you boost your speaking skills and move toward fluency.
Lastly, if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to reach out to us on social media or through our website. We love hearing from you.
Thanks for listening, and as always, keep speaking, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care and good luck on your English journey.